Hey, everybody, welcome back to MUSE TV. Oh my goodness, I am speaking with Men with the Pot. I am so excited to be talking with you guys today. You guys are my first interview of the new year, so I'm feeling extra excited. And you guys have such incredible content. First of all, how are you feeling being able to step into this part of your career journey where you're doing interviews and being asked questions all about your content? Is this something that you guys were expecting? Is this something that you guys are excited about?
Well, this is our New Year's resolution, to be honest. We didn't really have many interviews last year, since we signed with the Viral Nation, everything is kind of upside down, so this is very, very new to us, That's why you probably, you can probably see that we are a little bit stressed, you know what I mean? Sometimes, we don't know what to say, so, that's how it works, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much for holding us on this interview. It means a lot, and we're not used to do interviews yet, but yeah, we'll have a go.
I love it. Well, first of all, let's kick it off. You guys have such a large fan base. And I mean, we're talking billions of followers across all platforms, which I think is incredible. Now, I'm curious and I want to dig into your process and the whole idea of how your content is so unique. We're going to get to that in a minute. But first of all, did you guys intend on creating your social media content? And you guys can, whoever would like to speak to it, and you can both speak to it, whoever feels so inclined to do so first. But with creating this social media style of content, not including any type of really there's no, it's like ASMR style, but cooking, we don't see you, we don't hear you. Was this something that you guys wanted to do as a hobby and then it turned into like a happy accident with social media? Or was this something that you set out to do all along and you were like, this is what we're passionate about, this is what we want to do, and this is how we are going to get into the space. We are going to do it in a very unconventional and unique way. What did that look like for you guys?
Well, I might surprise you, or even I'm not sure if yes or no, but to be honest, it was all in a big accident, to be honest. Nobody never expected that this is going to go that far, and the beginnings are always hard, and that's how it was for us, and I don't know what driven us, what would push us to go to the forest, because at the very beginning we were still working, and recording, it was very, very, very hard, families, kids and all that. It was all messed up, people were saying that we are crazy, you're wasting your life, and then when we left, actually, when we left just before Christmas 2020, we left work and we said, listen, that's what we're going to do full time. People were like, nah, that's not going to work. There's not a chance, but nobody expected, not me or Chris, we never expect that this is going to go that far, so it's a nice surprise, but there's a lot of accidents. Now we can say that, yes, we plan all of it, you know what I mean? It was a mastermind behind it and all that. But that would be a lie. Simply, this is there's a lot of accidents, and a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work. So that's what I would say.
Okay.
There was a lot of sleepless night as well, and a lot of stress at the beginning, but nobody knew what we're doing. So, but yeah, it paid off. It paid off. Hard work paid off, definitely.
Wonderful. So when did you guys notice that you had this like love of cooking, and then obviously you came to combine it with content creation? But was this like, did you realize that you had this passion and then you brought it to social media, or was this something that existed for a long time? Like, did you guys grow up cooking and being involved in the kitchen, maybe helping parents and being interested in learning recipes and styles of cooking? Like, was this a long time coming, or was this a newfound passion and then combined with documenting the passion and then putting it on social media for you guys?
For the long period of time, we used to do a lot of campings, fishing trips, spending time on the nature. So there was always some kind of food with us. Maybe not necessarily we used to bake breads or anything like that, but that was simple meals. And then one day we just decided, listen, why not take something to record and maybe take a few pictures of it and share with the family and the friends. So we started to doing it, and it was very, very good feedback from family and friends. So that was pushing us forward and forward and forward.
Yeah, there was always I love to cook, I there was always passion for me, but I hate working in restaurants, things like that. That's too much pressure, you can't focus on the things, so there was we found like a kind of something in between, and cooking outdoors sounds crazy, sounds fun, we have a lot of fun, while doing this. That you can't really predict everything, that's why it's so cool about cooking outdoors. The weather here in Northern Ireland is absolutely terrible, but it gives us a lot of pleasure. It was a passion for a long time. It was a passion. It still is passion. But then at some point, we realized, listen, this could be a business. This could be, we could turn it into kind of, some kind of profit to pay bills and things like that. Forget working for someone else. Full-time job, things like that. Forget about it. Man with the pot. This is our baby. We will treat it like that, and hopefully we'll kind of, bring it up, even a notch, or even higher. That's going to happen at some stage. I know that, and Viral Nation is the first step.
Definitely. I would love to ask you, when it comes to your content, I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but you guys have such a unique style, and we live in a culture and a society right now, the climate on social media. It's like, if you don't get that instant hit right away, you get out of the video, your watch time is nothing, the engagement is nothing. And I think it's so fascinating that you guys, and the level of your content too, like you guys are using, I don't know what you guys are using in terms of like your cinematography tools, what kind of phone, what kind of camera, what kind of even mics you guys are using to document like the ASMR style like vibe that you give off when you're cutting things, and you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
you guys are obviously, you have a very elevated approach when it comes to your content, but the fact that you guys are able to be extremely successful with, you haven't shown your faces, and we're going to get to that in a minute. You haven't spoken really at all. Like, we don't know anything about you personally. We only know stuff about your content. Was this, obviously it's proven to be successful. We know this because you guys have taken leaps and jumps and become businessmen based off of this whole branding. But was this hard at first? Was this tricky? Did you have moments where you were like, look, we're seeing that there's a little bit of a spike in retention, but we need to, like, do we show our faces? Do we talk? Like, what did this whole process look like? Because again, people, even they're recording things and you have the B-roll, but they'll do their voice in the background, they'll layer it over the video that you guys are seeing. So what did this process look like for you guys? What were the trials and tribulations of it? And how do you think that it's so successful now? Wherever you guys would like to start. I know that's a loaded question, but I'm dying.
Yeah. I think this is people try to complicate things sometimes, but for us it was very simple. I hate myself seeing on the camera. I can't look at myself. I can't listen to myself when I speak. It's just odd, you know what I mean? So I said, okay, there is not a chance I'm going to be showing my face or I'll be talking, because it just sounds stupid to me. Other people might take it differently, you know what I mean? So that was the start of it, and I think we were both on the same page, and that's how it started, And when it comes to content, it's so hard to say. Even now, it's so hard to say what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. But there is, you can always, you have to spice things up sometimes. You know what I mean? Whatever that means. You have to leave that 2-3 things in a video when people will want to comment about. Is it negative, positive, whatever? It doesn't matter. They drive the algorithm. They drive the all the comment section, and things like that help. To elevate your content. On the higher levels. But that's how it is for me, to be honest.
I think from the beginning was the learning process. Nobody knew what to do, how to do. So obviously the first video is when you can see there's someone's face. Even some introduction was done, but when the time goes by, we said, no, it's not going to work that way. It's not what we want. It's not the direction we want to go. So let's do something completely different. No faces, no talking, nothing, just the pure nature and the food. And the beauty of nature and the beautiful dishes. And I think that works. Why? Maybe that's why, because not many accounts is like that. It's usually lifetime stories from the chef. So we try to keep it up and do it in our own way.
I love that. I love that you guys did it in your own way, because I think that when you honor yourself from the beginning like that, I think that you're really setting yourself up for loads of success, because also, like you mentioned, you guys are giving it, there's more things to unveil. You're not giving it all away at once. And on top of that, the audience is falling in love with really the reason, like, yes, they're there for like if you're looking at the host of like a food show or something like that, like, yeah, they'll fall in love with the host, they'll like the host or whatever, but they're there because they're trying to learn about the food. So I love that you're able to really assist your audience by, you know, kind of guiding them as to why they're there in the first place. And that's for the sake of the food, the scenery, the atmosphere, the fact that every time I watch your guys' content, I just want to go on a hike, and I live in LA and it's hard. So I think it's really, really fascinating that you guys were able to do that. Now, my next question is why now for coming out and coming forward with the identities and being able to see and like hear you guys? What is it that made you decide this now? And is there any element of being a little bit fearful now that people are going to associate faces and voices to the content? Is there any kind of like fear that you guys have? Or is it all like, yes, this is completely full speed ahead, we are excited about this, and there's no turning back? How are you guys feeling, truthfully?
I feel, well, I think we speak for both of us. I think we are very excited, you know, about this. You know, we didn't plan that maybe and too much, but last year we thought with like we all have good and bad days, you know. So I think in our position we picked we kind of reached the peak last year, and we decided we have to do something, you know, kind of keep people engaged, you know, things like that. Share the story because there's a cool story, you know. People love to listen to things like that, you know. And there was a knife, making a knife, you know, like nobody knew about it, how to do it, you know, but we still give it a shot, you know. And what annoys me the most, you know, when it comes to social media, because there's a lot of people who love to try, you know, and start their own thing, you know, their own niche, their own business, whatever, you know. But at the beginning, it's always hard because people tell you, like, that's what we've been taught, that you have to have this equipment, you have to have a camera worth 20 grand, you know, before you start recording, you know, content has to be high. That's absolutely lies, you know. We started with the phone, and we're still recording with the phone, and that's the phone over here, no advertisement or anything like that, but that's what we're using, you know. And you don't really have to have a camera, you know, for 20 grand, just a passion, you know, an idea, and you know, whatever device you have with you, you know, could be very, very simple as like a phone. So you know, I think, you know, you have to be yourself basically, you know, and just go ahead and do it, you know.
Right.
And why we decided to show our faces, there was two things came up in the same time. We've been invited to Poland for ending of culinary year event in Warsaw last December. So they said, yeah, surely we accept that invitation and we're gonna join them. Here we are. We just have a few interviews, even speaking with you. So thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Well, I love that you guys are so eager about all of this, and I love that you guys feel ready for the opportunity to connect with your audience in a whole different way. I think that's a really neat thing as well. If you look at it from like more of like the psych standpoint, you've connected with your audience with, like I mentioned earlier, they're coming for the food, they're coming for the atmosphere, they're coming for the quality of the content. But now they're going to fall in love with you guys as well. So you really are going to really solidify that fan base. That's why I think your process is just so genius. And I hope that we see more people creating content in a similar type of way in different niches, sure, in the same niche, but I really hope that people are catching on to this format because I think it's really great and it really solidifies your fan base. It's very important to retain that fan base and to have them always continue to want to tune in and be excited. And speaking of excitement and next steps, you guys have turned not only all of this content into, you know, a full-time job, but you guys have started a business venture. Talk to me about this business venture and how you guys have basically, you know, come up with your own products that you're able to now sell to fans and to people everywhere. What was that process like, and how does that feel? And is there anything upcoming regarding this business venture that you're able to tease, only if you can?
Yeah, listen, you know, it was like I said about the funny stories, you know, and the cool stories to tell. We always were looking for knife at the beginning, you know, and so we were using kind of kitchen knife outdoor, but that wasn't a thing, you know. You have to have this, you know, big knife, you know, which kind of draw attention of the. That's how people can recognize you. Okay, that's the knife. Okay, that must be one of the pot. Yeah, so basically that's how people were recognizing us at the beginning, you know. But the story behind the knife was we just basically went to the garden shed, which is 2x2, We had some steel, we had the angle grinder, you know, and we just basically start cutting, you know. And after a few hours, we came up with this shape, unusual shape, and ever since we started using it. So there was this guy. He wanted us to basically sell his knives. So I said, no way, no way. We have our own knife. Thank you very much. We don't want to work with you. And he come back to us 3 times. So the third time, you know, we tried to convince him, listen, this is a knife people are really looking for, you know. And we convinced him by saying that, listen, go and write man with the pot in Google. And the first, you know, suggestion was man with the pot knife, where it's made and things like that. And he said, you know what, let's do it. And that's how it started. So ever since, you know, we kind of come up with a few different knives. I think that we have pans, we have, you know, spices, things like that, you know. So basically, whatever we can actually, you know, put in the video, you know, we try to kind of create, you know, for our fans, you know, for our future customers, hopefully, you know. So basically, that's how it works, you know. Well, it just makes sense to show certain things, to make certain things, you know. Next on the list is wooden chopping boards, wooden bowls, and things like that. So that's the next step when you're asking about goals, you know, and where we want to go with this thing. So that's where we are at the moment.
We used to dream also about create a small village and maybe not create, but just have a few houses in the Polish mountains. So when we could meet up with our guest fans from around the world, so we could not use the phones and just basically sit around the campfire and maybe cook and have a conversation, maybe sing after a few beverages. Who knows? just like completely back to nature, and maybe at some stage in the future, hopefully, maybe open a restaurant. You never know.
That would be absolutely incredible. I love that idea. I love well, I've seen a lot of, especially on the content creation side of things, you'll see social media celebrities having like different conventions that they try to have for themselves and different like retreats. There's one in particular that I watch that she organizes like walks and it's like meetups, and she empowers women and then they go for a big walk. So I love the idea that you're looking into the idea of potentially getting to have that connection with your fans. And like you said, after a few drinks, that's off the table. Everybody will be singing everything, you know, it's great.
That's it. That's it.
And what better to cook and to bring that camaraderie all together. My final question to you both is, obviously you're working with Viral Nation. Love Viral Nation so much. I love the creative freedom that they really allow with their client roster. And I think that you guys are so lucky and so fortunate and so blessed to be working with such a great company. Been a fan for a very long time myself. Love working with them. What was it like when you guys had the opportunity to take next steps to be able to work with Viral Nation? How did you guys meet? How did you come together? What was your whole process like? And what are you most looking forward to achieving with Viral Nation at the helm, helping you out along the way?
You have to remember that we are living in Northern Ireland, you know, in a place where, to be honest, well, the weather-wise and the business-wise, opportunity-wise, it's really kind of, you know, a little bit behind. You know, if we were living in the US and doing this in the US, we would be way ahead. You know, so you know, opportunity like that with Viral Nation, we were very excited, to be honest. You know, there's many agencies to connect us before Viral Nation. But we were just listen, we can do it on our own, you know. But like I said, last year we thought we kind of, you know, achieved this peak where, you know, creation wise, you know, we won't be able to go any further. You know, we'll kind of be repeating ourselves. That's what we needed, that, you know, that fresh wind of, you know, of creativity, you know. And then when Viral Nation came in, you know, we said, listen, now you have to give it a shot. We spoke with Kylie and she kind of blow us up, you know, and she was okay, fair enough. She knows exactly what we're talking about, you know. And it's so hard to find these days people who basically, when you try to explain them something, you know, they don't look like, you know, they look at you like you are silly or something like that. She knew exactly what we want and where we want to bring this project, you know. So I said, listen, if you're on board, we can help you, you know, scale it up, you know. And yeah, excitement. 2024, let's go.
It's nice to be on the same page, which is Viral Nations, which is incredible. So we were very happy and looking forward to smash this 2024.
I love that. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for spending some time with us. Thank you so much for just providing more insight as to who you guys are, where you're looking to obviously take your fans. You guys, again, have such a tight-knit fan base. It's very obvious that they just love your content and love your videos. And I know that they're going to love you guys personally as you continue to develop that relationship with them in whatever means that you guys take that in whatever direction. But I want to say thank you again for your time. And I hope to be speaking with you soon. Maybe once these new products eventually roll out, in addition to the knife, we'll be able to have a whole different conversation and reconvene and have a check-in. You know, I really appreciate speaking with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure's all ours. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate that.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good one. Cheers.